Since 1927, when Rocky Ripple was first a town, people have been walking and running and riding and driving down Canal Boulevard. Is this a boulevard, is this a road, or is this just a footpath?
A little of all.
As you can see, between Canal Boulevard and 54th and 55th Street is barely wide enough to drive a vehicle down, let alone what happens when you've got pedestrians. And that's why town officials are thinking about closing off the road to bikers and walkers and joggers.
It will be closed to everyone except construction, and the homeowners have to have right to access. That's the only thing that we have to maintain.
That's because some driveways open on to Canal Boulevard, and the road's not wide enough for cars and people.
One night when there were walkers coming this way and a couple of bikers going this way, somebody put the brakes on and I went up the side and started sliding down. I'm aware of 2 times when people have gone in. A number of, maybe 5 years ago, someone went in and actually died in the canal.
Is that what this little cross is up here?
That's what this cross is up here.
The canal bank is deteriorating, and that means the road surface is crumbling too. And even though Indy Parks claims the canal towpath, and Citizens Energy claims the canal and maybe the bank, town officials don't know who owns the road, but afraid they'll be held liable, so they're thinking of cutting off access to everyone who doesn't live there.
We're going to have people diverted going through our neighborhood, which has no sidewalks either.
Waiting and watching.
We had a little bit of water, not a lot of pressure, and then later on there was absolutely nothing.
Jill Moss has been without water for 6 days now with 2 kids. That's a problem.
We had some neighbors that offered that we could wash and do some stuff over there, but you take it for granted, not having the water.
She didn't have water in her Zionsville home because her well went dry, and she is not alone.
Especially in a drought time like this, when there's a lot of water being consumed up here on the top of the ground, that's really impacting especially those shallower veins down low.
Josh says with it being so dry and everyone using so much water for everything from things inside their homes to their yards, wells are drying up. The problem is worse the closer to the city you live. And he says we're going to see more wells dry up unless we get some rain.
It seems that the longer this drought is going on, though, it's picking up a little pace.
C&J Well is drilling a deeper well for Jill, creating a big mess in her yard, but one she says she doesn't mind.
I'm just excited they're here. 6 days, no water.
The water, a positive sign for her. Now she's just hoping to see water from the sky sometime soon, too.
Hopefully we'll get some rain soon.
Filling out a simple job application seems harmless.
Anytime you even want to apply for a job, you got to give them a ton of information about yourself. So you just kind of got to have faith that they're going to do the right things with them.
But you'd never think your personal information would end up here. Fox 59 found hundreds of employee files inside this recycling dumpster in Fishers. The files full of copies of Social Security cards, driver's licenses, birth certificates, and lots of other personal information. Information that anyone could have grabbed.
All that stuff, he just threw it away.
When we went through the folders, we found information on employees who used to work for KB Pizza, who at one time owned Domino's pizza stores throughout Indiana.
I was a delivery driver.
After doing some digging, several current employees told us that KB Pizza sold multiple Domino's stores to a new owner. KB Pizza is still listed as an active business with the Secretary of State. The owner, Kevin Barber. The address listed on checks and other documents in the files we found are for a mailbox inside this UPS store, right here in the same shopping center where the files were dumped. Barber's home is about 2 miles away from the dumpster on the water in Geist. We went to the home today to get answers. No one responded. Standing at the front door, it appears the family that lives inside this house is moving.
Employers need to know that they do have obligations under the law. You can't just dispose of information like this, private information of your employees, in a dumpster.
Indiana law requires owners to protect their employees' identities. The law states a database owner shall not dispose of records or documents containing unencrypted or unredacted personal information of Indiana residents without shredding, incinerating, mutilating, erasing, or otherwise rendering the personal information illegible or unusable. After bringing this to the Attorney General's attention, they are now launching their own investigation into KB Pizza, how these files ended up in a dumpster, and who put them there.
They need to notify these individuals as well, and if we find out that they haven't notified properly, as is required under the law, then we can go against them for that as well.
The file that I got had everything from my driver's insurance information, my copy of my license, Social Security card, address.
Wayne plans to take all the proper steps to protect himself, but for now, he can only do one thing.
Just hope that nobody got a hold of any information they can use.
Take a look at this video only on Fox 59. Here you see Hancock County Coroner Tammy Van Gundy in the pink polo t-shirt cooperating with officers late Wednesday night.
They ran her through a field sobriety test, which she failed. Ran her on a portable breath test. She failed that. So then I had another officer bring her in and run her on the breathalyzer, and she tested 0.16%.
According to the Hancock County Sheriff Shepard, Van Gundy responded to a death investigation in the 7,000 block of West Amelia Drive in New Pal.
And he called to tell me that they'd had this death and that the county coroner had come to the scene and that she had been drinking.
He says when Van Gundy arrived, a deputy coroner was already on scene. Deputies witnessed Van Gundy staggering and suspected something may be wrong. They pulled her aside. They say they smelled alcohol on her breath.
I tried to handle it just like I would anybody else. If it's someone else that pulled up to the scene intoxicated, obviously you had me come out since it was an elected official. That's probably about the only difference there.
Van Gundy was placed under arrest, preliminarily charged with operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated. The sheriff says Van Gundy's arrest will likely not have an effect on the death investigation.
I just don't understand it.
Rex Ambrose doesn't know what to think about it.
It was just careless recklessness. No doubt about it.
He has plenty to say about the mess 4 kids made when they broke into the United Steelworkers Local 2958 building in Kokomo. He was called at 5 in the morning.
I walked in the door with the fire marshal, and I really thought that I just walked into a movie set or something. That could never happen.
Furniture had been knocked down, broken, windows were shattered.
The Coke machine generally sat right where that outline on the wall is and on the floor there, facing this way.
This is the financial office. I want to show you the damage that was in here. There were 2 fires set here. One right here where it melted some of those files. The second one was right over here. It melted an adding machine. And I know it may be hard to tell, so I'll put a phone next to it, but that used to be a phone.
I was in total disbelief that we are going to have to go through all of this for just some people playing around.
A third fire was set in this room using his jacket.
To me, that's total disrespect, in my opinion, to the local to do something in that manner.
In several rooms, the letters VME were spray painted on the wall, on a computer screen, on a filing cabinet.
And this is where they broke into it.
It wasn't until he walked into his office that he found out what those letters may have meant.
I had this on there, everything below that somebody wrote.
Detectives arrested 4 boys. The youngest was 11, the oldest was only 15. What hurt Rex the most was to see a glass box with memorabilia dating back to the 60s destroyed.
This is all history right there. And it's a shame that kids run in here and destroy history like that.
Even friends get on each other's nerves, but Facebook may be pushing it with the latest changes made to the wildly popular social networking site. Newly designed categories appear for close friends, family, co-workers, and others. News stories under Facebook's news feed now top the pages instead of fresh posts from friends. Birthday and friend requests appear under a ticker-like function that more resembles Twitter and Google+. None of it generated many likes out on the street.
It's kind of irritating when, I just want to find out what people have done in the last 12 hours. Now they're giving me top news stories from 4 days ago.
They already give you an option to do the top story, and then now it's like forcing you for the top story. Like if I wanted to, I would just make it top story if I really wanted to.
The outcry was much, much louder on Fox 59's Facebook page. Brandy Bailey writes, "I hate these new changes on here. They need to leave it the way it was." Cody Michelangelo Bonavita says, "I hate the new Facebook. I don't understand it at all. This is so stupid." And Larissa May summed it up best, "Hate the changes." Facebook posted a YouTube video explaining the changes and also released this statement saying, "Our goal with these improvements is to make it easier for people to keep up with their friends no matter how frequently or infrequently they visit Facebook, and to make sure they never miss important updates." But after years of unrequested tweaks and updates, some Facebook friends say enough's enough.
I'm really seriously thinking about just deleting it all.